She's not what you'd expect. She's tough and feisty, but gentle and tender. She makes millions and gives millions to the poor. She cries, she laughs, she teaches, she comforts. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
All right, number one. What was number one? No. What was the first point? Don't increase your lifestyle when you increase your income. Number two, find out where your money is going. How? Print out your bank statement and do what? Highlight where it's all going. Ask the question of 98 versus 2%, luxury or necessity. Number three, follow the financial principles since the beginning of time. What's one of those laws? Faithful with the little makes ruler over much, much more. Pink salt versus cheap salt. Which one will you pick? Cheap salt. Number four. Financial independent people live frugal lives, and that's how they created their financial independence. The road to financial independence is frugality. It is not stupidity. Number five. Money is seed. Where does seed need to go? Fertile soil. So, to build a business and to make money, you have to make sure you're pointing it in the right direction. So when it comes to business, for example, you don't want to throw good money at bad things, at things that are not going to yield a return. So you're always looking for what is the return I'm going to get on that dollar that I'm spending. What's the value I'm going to get returned back to me? Not what value do I get to use for now. Like, for example, okay, so here's the deal. So because Hans and I have lived on 70% or less of our income, and because we paid off all of our debt, we now have a crazy amount of money that we get to have fun with whenever we want. So we vacation a lot, and that's one place that we spent money while our kids were even young. Is we spent it in those types of things, taking them around the world, letting them experience culture. We wanted them to be more educated than the kids in the school that they were going to. We wanted them to get an understanding of people all over the world, and also they spent a lot of time with the poor. So when you do these things that I just gave you, when you live this way, you end up with that 30%, well 10% you never see because that's going straight to the poor, which by the way protects your income when you take care of the poor. So when you have 20% a month going towards investments, now these things are compounding and now they're multiplying. So remember, 3 skills concerning money. 1 was how to make it. 2 was how to keep it. Number 3 is how to multiply it. How do you make it grow? How do you turn money into your slave instead of you being a slave to it? And that's what you're going to learn at Creating a Dynasty. Is how to start multiplying your money to get it working for you as though it's a whole nother employee. Your money becomes an OPE for you. It becomes the efforts of another person. So it's growing, you're at work, but your money's working alongside you. So now there's 2 people producing an income at the same time. Do you hear me? So now there's 2 assets in the household if you're single. If you're married, maybe that's 3 assets in the household. Do you hear what I'm saying? So ladies that don't work, you don't contribute, meaning don't work, so sorry for saying that, you don't make money. What you do to contribute to the household is make sure that you don't let the money leak out in all the wrong places. But you look for ways to save money. Therefore, the bottom line of the bank account can grow every month. Because watch, if you refuse to spend $1,000 a month this month, if you say, no matter what, come hell or high water, there's gonna be $1,000 in my bank account by the end of this month. And you do the same thing month 2, how much money do you have? $2,000. That if you make the commitment for 12 consecutive months to save $1,000 a month, how much do you have at the end of a year? $12,000. If you use what we were showing you at Creating a Dynasty, even just with the 1,000, that 1,000 won't be 1,000 by month 2. That 1,000 might be 1,200 or 1,500 or just 1,100. It might be 1,050. Do you understand? It might be 1,050. But if you keep doing this month after month, do you hear what I'm saying? The thing compounds and it multiplies and it grows for you. Then pretty soon you've got 100 grand in cash. Pretty soon you have $1 million in assets, 2 million, $10 million in assets. Do you understand? Because and again, you're still working your thing. You're still living on your 70%, but your 20% after your debt is all paid off, 20% going towards compounding efforts. Now what you have is this. Watch. I want you to picture this. I really am an amazing artist. This is a tree. Here is the fruit. Here's an apple. With this apple is inside of it is what? Seed. If I take that, I could do two things with this apple. You have to think about, what do you do with an apple? How many of you eat the apple? You take a bite of the apple, right? How many of you throw away the core that has the seeds in it? Look at you, you're afraid to raise your hand. Of course you do, unless you're a farmer. But what does this apple come with? It comes with seed. What can you do with the seed? You can plant it. What else could you do it? You could collect all the seeds and sell them. There's money inside of every apple. There's money and food inside of every apple. So if I eat this fruit, I could sell this fruit or I could eat the fruit. Hello? I can sell it or eat it, and I can sell the seed or I can plant the seed. Right? But how many of you eat an apple and you never think about that? We eat an apple, we eat peaches, we eat plums. What do we do with the seed? Toss it in the trash. We literally could choose not to eat it, sell the seed, or plant the seed. So what happens when I take this apple off of this tree? If I eat it, I take the seed, I plant it in the ground. What happens? I get what? Several trees. You like my tree? I get several trees. I have a new problem. Where am I going to put the seeds from these trees? No, I need to buy some more land. I need to make an investment into more land so I can do what? Plant the new trees. Do you hear me? If I keep doing this, what do I end up with? I end up with an orchard. So where did the orchard come from? The first apple. The orchard came from the first apple. So where Hans and I are now at financially is we stopped throwing the seeds away at Walmart. We stopped throwing the seeds away at Costco. We stopped throwing the seeds away at restaurants 3 to 4 times a week. We stopped throwing away the seeds at buying brand new $5,000 stupid suits. We stopped throwing away the seeds in cell phones. We stopped throwing away the seeds and wasting time going to the grocery store 3 to 4 times a week because that is gas and time. We stopped throwing away the seeds with all of our luxurious eating at home and out. And we decided to start planting those seeds into the ground. So it wasn't too long before we had at least one field with trees in it that were all producing fruit at the same time. It wasn't too long before that happened. And then it wasn't too long before now there is an entire orchard. Now listen to me. Now there's a whole orchard that we can walk out into this orchard at any time, pick that fruit, get so fat on that fruit if we want to, eat as much as it is that we want. I can eat this whole tree of apples, and is it going to affect my wealth? Not at all. Just like we just paid cash for a 7-figure dream home that he built, and it did not hurt our wealth. 7 figures. 7 figures. You should see this house. It's freaking unbelievable. I can't, honestly, every day me in this house, I've been in it for 2 months. Well, I've only been home for like 7 days total. It is a castle. It looks like it is a medieval castle. It looks like it's 1,000 years old in some of the places. The design of it is unbelievable. I sit in that place and go, I cannot believe this is my house. Every day I go up the stairs, spiral staircase covered in stone, 2.5-story ceilings. Every time I walk up this thing, I'm like, I cannot believe I live here. Every time taking a shower in my shower, which is enormous, you could have a party in this shower. I could serve dinner in the shower. Seriously, I could set up a dinner table in the shower. No problem. Can't even admit. We have a disco pool. I have a disco kitchen. We got a disco jacuzzi. None of it has affected our wealth. None of it. 7 figures, paying cash for a house, has not hurt the orchard. We had off 1 tree. We are young. We're young and able to be there. If we had not wasted the first 10 years keeping up with the Joneses, if we had not wasted the first 10 years of living in luxury we did not earn, the luxury was being financed by somebody else. If we had not blew all that seed in all those stupid places trying to buy our way into feeling successful. But if we had been wise from day one, if I had not lost my frugality when I was homeless, because I had it then, and along the way got stupid and started buying expensive cars and expensive houses and filling the houses with the best furniture and the best artwork and the best frames for a 5x7 family freaking picture that I still have. And guess what? Most of it can't go anywhere because this new house, there ain't no place to put nothing, believe it or not. Our art is the stone walls themselves. They better be for that price. So if you're willing to be faithful with the little, and by the way, we still are faithful with the little. Still to this day, why am I cooking lunch? Because I'm still faithful with the little. Why did I fly coach to come here? Why? Because I'm still faithful with the little. If I get an upgrade, I'll take it. I'll take it. And there's very few set of circumstances that I will ever fly first class. It takes a lot for me to agree to doing something like that. But I'm faithful with the little. Why? Because there's still seed, there's still an orchard, and I've got another generation that I'm planting for. Not only that, but if I get off of this bandwagon, it can all be gone like that. It can all be gone just like that. So it just took a little bit of time. That's it. If you're willing to make the same kind of investment and you're willing to do these simple little steps, you're going to master money the way us two very uneducated kids who grew up poor. That if we've been able to master it, it only takes a few years. And the first step to creating wealth is paying off your debt. First one's credit cards. You can get an 18.9% return immediately by paying off your credit cards. That's so simple. Look, if you owe $1,000 on your credit cards, how much are you going to pay in interest on those credit cards? 18.9%. Do you have any idea how much that is? It's a lot of money. Wouldn't you rather keep that money? So if you kill your credit cards, you're already going to be paying yourself 18.9%. Then you go to your car, whatever the percentages you're paying your car. Yeah, but Dani, what about my credit cards that have 0% interest? Don't be a fool. Don't be a fool. That's how they have tricked you. How have they become wealthy? They've become wealthy on our ignorance. They have become wealthy on our ignorance. What does that look like? Because they gave us what we wanted, and they're collecting 18.9% or 6%. They're giving us our instant gratification. They're giving us our convenience. But their families have gotten wealthy off of that little percentage. The same with financing a car. It was a brilliant innovation if you think about it. The banks and the car manufacturers got together. It was brilliant if you think about it. Come on, 50 years ago, no one would have ever thought about financing a car. Never would have happened. Everyone paid cash for a car. And everyone's making more money now. Way more money now. But those families had little jars inside their kitchen, and when they made the goal to go buy a car, they knew they had to pay cash for it, and what did they do? Every opportunity they had, they filled that jar filled with money, and this was the car budget. This is how some families actually shared cars. Before families that pulled money together and they shared a car, a farm, shared a car. That's crazy. But today, I just walk on a lot for $200 a month, $300 a month, $400 a month, $500 a month. I can get a car.
And they've extended it to 8 years.
They've extended it now to 8 years. Why would they extend it now to 8 years?
More interest.
So they make more money.
And your car's not
You will never, ever keep that car for 8 years, and they know you won't keep that car for 8 years, so they have done a study. They know that you're going to get rid of that car. You're going to have to pay the whole balloon on that car. You're going to have to pay to get out of the loan and then go buy another new car. So they are making money on our ignorance as well as our lack of self-control. Our lack of self-control and our ignorance. Walk by the Spirit instead of the flesh. It's real simple. Pick which life you want to have. You want freedom? Walk in the Spirit, where there is self-control, where there is patience, goodness, kindness, joy, and love. Walk in the flesh? Bondage, pressure, stress. Close your eyes. I want you to imagine you writing your last check right now. I want you to picture it. If you cannot visualize it, it will never happen. I even want you to physically write it. Who is it made out to? It's probably your mortgage. It's your last one. Right now, I want you to write down what you're feeling as you're writing the last one. What does it feel like? Write it down. Don't talk to me. I want you to write it. I want you to write it as though it's present tense. Right now, you just wrote the last check. This is where you have to weigh your ego with your bank account and figure out which one weighs more. What one do you want to weigh more? What do you want to pass down to the next generation? You want to pass down the burden of debt? Do you want to pass down that kind of suffering to them, that kind of pressure? Or do you want to pass down freedom? It's your choice. It literally is your choice. Stop being a victim financially. And start proactively building wealth. It's not that hard. If it was hard, Hans and I would not be able to do it. And if it took smart people, I absolutely would not have been the one to do it. My husband has become really, really smart, but he wasn't smart when I met him. I guarantee you. There are people in this room who knew him then. Super quiet, 20 words in his vocabulary, 2 of which were and the. I am not joking you. Now he is a brilliant, brilliant man who has read hundreds of books, has taken tons of risks, and has learned how to do this. He's brilliant. If we can learn to create wealth, so can you. There's no difference between you and me, none at all. Perhaps the difference is that you're smarter than we were when we started. And it didn't take us 18 years to do it. Do you understand? We've had wealth in our accounts for more than a decade and a half that we've had wealth that we have accumulated. So it took just a few years, and that's all it's going to take you if you're willing to be held accountable, if you're willing to be diligent, if you're willing to give it your best shot. You're going to call me one day and say, Dani, now what do? I have so much freaking cash, it scares me. I have so much money, I can't believe this is my life. That's where there's people in this room that this has happened to them. I don't even say happen, meaning this is the result of what they've done. That they have total financial freedom and didn't believe it when they first heard this message.